Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weeping and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit RayconGlobal.com. That's RayconGlobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BVO Boxing, aka man, the Caprazine of Boxing, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to my brothers on the panel. We got a big conversation we're gonna have. And let's start it off here. Why don't we see more men willing to do for self? What would you guys say? Anybody can start.
Why don't we see more men, why don't we see more men willing to do for self?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Like men not willing to get up and work for themselves? You mean not handling their responsibilities? Can you clarify that or add a little bit more context?
When I say do for themselves, I hear a lot of men look for other communities to solve problems they can solve themselves, and they're quick to call people who give you an alternative ideal about it. Sellouts, or they're not for the culture, whatever little goofy thing you can say. But my one thing is I just don't understand why people don't make it their business to do for themselves and not look for no one to do for them. That's what I mean when I say that.
Because it's too hard, because it's too scary, because it's too stressful. And sometimes it's easier to just be locked into four walls or to be locked into a situation where you're more secure with a job and you know you're gonna get a paycheck. Like we heard Brian Norman Sr. come out here and he spoke about it for a little bit, where he I think what he said, he has his own internet providing business or what is it exactly? If you know BVO.
I think you say he has pretty much like a car repair and a tow truck company, I believe.
Yeah, and he said himself that's the most stress that he's ever experienced in his entire life, and it's an everyday thing for him because he doesn't eat unless he hunts. He only eats what he kills. So I think that's just it straight off. It's just easier to not have to build, or it's easier to be secure in a certain situation where you know you're guaranteed something.
Anybody else got something on that?
No, I think it depends on the individual. I mean, I don't think all men are like that. I think it depends on the individual, because some people, some men do for themselves. Some men they don't depend on anybody. So I think it depends on the individual. The individual that chooses to do that is because it's more convenient for them. But the individual that does it for itself is more rewarding for him to do it for itself. So I think it depends on the individual. I don't think it's all men. I just think it's whoever the person is that you're talking about.
I like to add on to what D Free said. And basically, it's a self-esteem problem. That's a self-esteem issue to begin with. Let's start from the root of it. Okay, let's not play around. Smash the like button as you come in. It's a self-esteem situation because the plan always been once your parents give creation and birth to you, they raise you so you can be out and do for yourself on your own. Because by the laws of nature and some laws, you at an illegal age to take care of yourself and to become that legal age. So in between those times, that's what you're supposed to be learning from your parents to raise you so you can become self-sufficient, take care of yourself, and take care of your own family that you also start. But because we're in a society where people emotions are so overly saturated, it's like we dampened in tears and whines and cries instead of just wiping the tears off and simply just going out and solving the issue. Because the thing is, a lot of people feel pacified, entitled. It's not just the women. It's the reason why BBO said men. Because you had soft, moist men who feel as though they are entitled. They like baby boy, you understand? A whole lot of Jodies running around, and they ain't talking about taking somebody's woman. I'm talking about the one who got to always be up at mama house, ask mama to buy him a burger. You see? That's pacifying. So some men have became awfully content with that. Because no matter if you're a man or a woman, once you become an adult, you are responsible to do for self. There's no law to say that an adult is supposed to take care of another adult. Unless if it's not contracted as far as a husband and wife, that's the only pass you get. When you man and woman, you husband and wife. That's the only time it's legal for an adult to take care of another adult. So in between time with the girlfriends and the friends with benefits and all that, you're not obligated to do nothing but to take care of yourself. So when you got these soft, moist, Jody-like little boys living under a woman's roof who's getting up and going to work, and you a stay-at-home dog, you like a dog that's in the house. Can't say he's a stay-at-home man because most of those guys, when they staying at home and living off the woman, they ain't doing a doggone thing. They ain't picking up a dish rag. They not doing none of these things because they so pacified and think society owes them something. Because in between the time when the parents was raising them, doesn't matter if they was getting the right teachings or not. They just feel as though when anything goes wrong, they're owed to them because they didn't ask to come here. So since they here, we should all have that mindset. But once again, we are raised to get away from that. We are trained to get away from that and to be sufficient on our own. So going back to these soft behind men, instead of getting up and going to a McDonald's or whatever the case may be, you rather go live up under a woman who's working a 9 to 5, who probably got children of her own. You understand what I'm saying? You rather for her to buy your PlayStation for you, your Xbox, but you don't want to work for it. Hey, the same thing goes with us men. And I say, hey, the cucaracha ain't enough for me. You understand? That's the only thing. That's not the only thing that get me with them. It's more to that. When it comes to a woman, when it comes to me dealing with a woman, it's not just that. And so many men get caught up with that because they feel as though this is what a man is supposed to do. Real quick.
Well, I'll say this. I get what you're saying. I'm not necessarily talking about somebody who doesn't work, because those people don't matter. I'm speaking about when you hear we got to talk to my brother Crown, and to hear him say how things aren't fair, things should be a certain way.
Okay.
And I think the thing that got me the most is like, you hear so many black men say they want stuff to be a certain way, but you can't do anything until you have ownership of that league or that situation to make those calls. And I think the thing I've learned over the last probably 10 or 15 years is you cannot look for the government, you cannot look for anyone to solve problems that you can solve for yourself. Prime example, everybody talks about the Shador Sanders situation, right? So with Shador, we seen him slide in the draft, whatever the case may be. Okay, that's fine. But the fact that remains this, it doesn't matter that Shador fell in the draft. It matters the fact that Dion didn't understand and wasn't self-aware enough to know, hey, let me shut up and let my son go through the process for himself because he's not nearly as talented as I am. So he doesn't get a chance to make the noise that I made. And I think so many times then you hear people, this new word I hear is called woke. You hear these woke idiots talk about, oh, they're not fair, they this and that. Shut up. Because you knew from the gate, as my grandmother used to say, rest in peace to Granny G. From the gate, I used to love when my baby would say that. You knew what time it was from the gate. So to think that you're going to make demands, make requests, it's not going to happen. So I guess for me, you guys can expound on this if you guys want as well. I just don't know where brothers get off trying to make demands on things they don't own. If you own it, it's different. Like, I know a lot of people don't like Dame Dash, but one thing I will say about Damon that I do enjoy and I love and I admire is that he's always trying to do something to help himself and his family prosper. We just had Ryan Coogler, right? Ryan Coogler just put out a tremendous movie. I think it was very, I thought it had a lot of evil elements to it, but that's just me as a Christian. That's my personal opinion. It had a lot of anti-Christian messaging in it. But I can say that I thought it was a great film, a great work of art. But Ryan Coogler put in the contract that after 25 years, the movie's rights and everything returned to him. People don't realize Steven Spielberg doesn't own E.T. Steven Spielberg doesn't own Jurassic Park. But the thing was, Ryan Coogler didn't complain. He went and made a way for himself. A guy nobody knew in Michael B. Jordan, who was nothing more than Wallace from The Wire. He did Fruitvale Station, huge Sundance hit. Now you see him, he did Black Panther, he did Creed, and now you see him able to have ownership. And what I'm saying is, I'm tired of the bourgeois house boys, as they used to call them back in the 50s. The house boys keep talking about how stuff ain't fair. And I think that's really hurting us as a culture and as a community. We got way too many men talking like broads. My grandfather barely did any talk. He just made stuff happen. So that's what I mean when I say that. Shout out to my brother Marcus, Ohio runs boxing in the house. What you got on this, man? We talking about how so many people, especially these woke guys, are saying how things aren't fair. What you think about that?
Well, you just spoke. I just dropped in and heard you. You sound like me when it comes to those certain talking points, man. I agree with what you said. I get tired of that, hearing that too, man. And I love how you describe Michael B. Jordan, where he came from and where he is now. Yeah, it's a lot of them that come off like that, where they feel like it ain't fair. They holding us back, and I'm like, no, you holding yourself back, my brother. I don't know. I mean, it's sometimes I don't know where it comes from or why they still have that mentality. When we see so many examples of people from our culture getting in position, and look from Floyd Mayweather to Al Heyman. I mean, we can go on when it comes to different people being successful coming from our community, man. So I didn't know what the topic was or what y'all was just talking about, so I just jumped in. But you pretty much were saying what I've been saying, man. I've been the advocate on that when it comes to us and being careful of getting caught up with social media and the race bait stories all the time. I get tired of that. If Dante killed Jermaine, we ain't talking about that. But when a white boy and a black boy get into it, it's all over social media. It's always the race that get the pushing. I get so tired of it. I'm like, I don't care about none of them, to be honest. it's about justice at the end of the day. Who's right and who's wrong. But you know, that last story with the stabbing, I was just like, okay. I seen black folks donating to the Carmelo kid, and white folks didn't know. I'm just like, what? You know, how y'all get so caught up, and they do it over and over again.
Facts.
And y'all wonder why we don't grow, because we stay in the same place. I look at that stuff and just scroll past it. You're not going to get me with the same stuff over and over again. Every 4 years, the Democrats and the Republicans is, we got it. Who's going to be racist and who's going to be for the blacks? Like, y'all don't fall for it. Y'all fall for it every 4 years. Like every 4 years. We get the Democrats to come over and they get watermelon. They go eat some watermelon. They go have some black people entertained. Y'all fall for the same stuff, you know. And I'm glad that my experience, I was able to have the all see, and I grow and watch this stuff and be like, nah, you got to wake up sooner or later. And sometimes we don't wake up. What's the movie School Days at the end with Lawrence Fishburne? Wake up.
Yeah.
How do these motherfuckers wake up, bro? That's just a lot of them ain't woke up. They think they are. No, you get caught up by the same thing over and over again. Not me, brother. And I humbly just step back and watch all that stuff unfold, bro. I don't think I'm better than nobody, but I thank God that I've grown to be able to see some of this nonsense that a lot of us partake in.
Right.
What you got for me, Prize?
Oh, go ahead, Prize.
What you got for me, Prize and Free?
No, I agree with everything Marcus said. I'm not real big on getting bent out of shape because this person they pulled the race card and all that. I'm more so whatever is right, what's wrong is wrong. I don't care what race you are. I don't care. Like I said, I understand why people get mad about people saying the N-word. Me personally, it doesn't bother me. I don't let words bother me. So me personally, it doesn't bother me. But I understand why other people get mad about it. I understand why people don't want other people using that word. So I understand it. But when it comes to me personally, it doesn't bother me. I don't get bent out of shape. I'm more so, I don't care what color you are. If you doing it, I'm upset that you're doing it. If I'm gonna be upset, I'm gonna be upset regardless. It doesn't matter what color you are. I don't care if you look like me. I don't care if you don't look like me. If I'm gonna be upset, I'm gonna be upset. It has nothing. My anger doesn't have a color preference. It doesn't have a color preference. It just has anger. So I see a lot of people fall for the same stuff, and I'm like, y'all know that they doing this because it makes you upset. Why do you keep getting upset? If you know this is what they do, it's like when you have your child at home, you know your child is going to continue to make the same mistake. The first couple of times you get mad, then when you realize, okay, they keep making the same mistake, you just ignore it. You say, okay, eventually they're going to figure out that's the same mistake. But the first couple of times, yeah, you get mad about it, but then after a while you're like, okay, you know what? They'll figure it out. I'm not gonna keep telling them. They're gonna figure it out. So it's the same way in life. I'm not gonna keep falling for the same thing. The first time you do it, yeah, I might get mad. Second time I might get mad again. The third time I'm like, hold it, you just doing this to get a rise out of me. I'm not doing this. I'm not getting mad every single time you do it because I know you doing it just to get me mad. Now I'm just gonna sit here and just look at you like you're crazy. So I just don't fall for all. That's why I said when you asked me yesterday, I said I don't really get into it because it's a touchy situation. I know some people feel a certain way about it. When it comes to me, I'm different than most people because words don't bother me. Like I say, you can call me any word you want to. It's the physical that bothers me. When you want to get physical, then that's when you're going to get a reaction from me. You can say whatever you want to say. I know what I am. I know what I can do. I know what goes on in my life. So you can say whatever you want. It's the physical that bothers me.
Yeah, you know
I'm pretty much
I'll
with
say.
Free. You
Oh,
can
my
say
bad. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just going to say pretty much what Free said. You can say what you want to me. Just don't put your hands on me, and I'll leave it at that.
because I think we like to joke, where I would say, let me put my weapon down and knock this little guy out or whatever. But what I'm saying is simple as this, man. If I'm so tired of these sissified men coming out posing as black men, like I was watching something, it was crazy. This guy was getting married, right? And they turn around, the dude had a suit on, his whole back was out. I said,
What?
what? What's going on? What? That's what I said to myself. Or you see some, for those of us who are married, you will see a cat walk down the aisle, right? Before his woman come. And if that's what you want to do, that's cool. But I think what always happens is, as my father told me, we always take it a little bit too far. I went to go see some young kids. I was taking my daughter somewhere. And if I see another young boy with a crossbody on, it's like, yo, I thought that's what broads wear, crossbodies. And it's like, you'll see dudes who think they tough with their nails painted, crossbodies on. They got the little twist like the
That's
chicks,
diabolical.
tight pants on. And I'll be honest, I was one of the first kids wearing tight pants, but I didn't have my hair in 2-strand twist like a chick. You would think you seen a bad chick walk by. It's a dude. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, it's really getting to a point where you don't know what's going on, because you got everybody complaining, talking about what's not fair. And I think about those older generations, they never talked about what wasn't fair. All they ever did was find solutions, never problems. And I'll just say this, to put a point in before we go to our next subject. I never in a million years thought I would hear so many men not be able to say, you know what? Hey, man, I got to do better for myself. I can't wait on the government. I can't wait on the mayor. I can't wait on city council. I got to do it myself. I wanted to have something for the kids in my home area. So you know what I had to do? BVO and BVO Doghouse Hangout, they helped donate, and we fed kids. That's what it's all about. It's not about complaining. It's about finding solutions. But moving on, one thing I wanted to ask you
Hold
guys.
on. I didn't get to answer the question.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, can you repeat the question? I have to follow for a second.
The question was pretty much, what do you think about all these woke men still complaining about how things are not fair?
I ain't really got nothing to say about them. I mean, I guess I just echo what y'all said. You're a man. Stop crying. It'll be all right. Just get up, work, figure out what bills you got to pay, whatever money you got left over. Figure it out. Like that. That's just life. So I mean, I don't know what you're crying about. I don't know what's not fair, but we all got the same 24 hours in the day. We all got the same opportunity if we want to get educated or whatever we want to do. I mean, stop crying.
And I'm gonna say this real quick too, and then you can go on Bevo. We got to stop listening to some of these influencers, like the Al Sharptons, the Roland Martins, those guys who they're so off. It's not even funny, to be honest, man. You got to be careful who you are influenced by, because those are the guys that keep pushing this type of message to the younger generation, man. And then some of them, they're eating it, and that's one of the big problems too. It's who you are being influenced by. So that's all I wanted to say.
What's going on? What's going? Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Let me do this real quick. We're not going on. We're not gonna move on this shit. I gotta shout this guy out, man. Shout out to Varnell Hill, all the way from Middle Georgia, man. My man Doug Rice. So what's going on, Doug?
Man, shout out to my brother Sombrero in the building, man. Salute to BVO Sombrero, man. Much love and respect. Hey, I done been missing y'all, brother, since the draft show, man. So, man, y'all cooking, and I agree with a lot of what y'all talking about. Shout out to everybody on the panel, as always. My brother Free, Prize, the OG Crush, the young historian, Market, straight out of Ohio, one of the great boxing minds that you can speak to. I gotta agree with damn everything y'all are saying. Excuse my language, but Listen, fair is a place that they judge pigs. It ain't no such thing as fair. You make your own fair. And you do that by hard work. You don't complain. You don't all that complaining. BBA, you said it perfectly. The generation that came before my father, I really say before my father's generation, that older generation, they ain't complain. The men or
The
the
ones
women.
before them.
Yeah, the
Before
one
the great,
before.
before the baby boom. Yeah, before the baby boomers. Yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't complain. The men or the women. They figured it out. They figured out how to get stuff done. They bit down and just said, you know what, we're gonna be gritty about it, and hey, it is what it is. This the situation I'm in. Somebody got to eat around here, so I need to figure out how I'm gonna put food on this table. That was it. And so, I mean, some of this stuff, and I agree. As far as I think Ohio said, as far as these influencers go, um, man, it's all a game. It's all a game. It's all a setup. And unfortunately, I ain't gonna say they target, but the black community a lot of times are the ones who take who fall right into the trap. Let me put it that way: fall right into it. And so we got to be better as men and educate the youth now. So my child, your children, have a better opportunity than we. That's all. That's all it's ever been about, is providing a better opportunity for the next generation. So stop the crime, man, and figure it out. That's all I would say.
And speaking of this, our next subject is going to be a little controversial, but it must be said. So we hear a lot of different things from different women, right? And one thing I always wonder, I never hear brought up is, does it count if you make bad decisions before I meet you? When you meet a young lady, which most people when they meet young ladies, they're young at the time, and you meet a young lady who has 3, 4, 5 kids, right? And she happens to be beautiful, but you will hear that woman all of a sudden, say what her morals are, right? What she want, what she gotta have, and then you'll see her next week at the mall with the lady, with the lady who likes to wear the baggy pants and the braid and the long locks, dreadlocks, and she's not 6 feet tall, and she's not making $100,000. I also want to know, what do you think these unrealistic expectations on a mate come from as well? I want to kind of get into that with you guys. What do you guys think?
Real quick, I'm gonna make it short. That's out of pure laziness. When people have expectations for what they want a person to have and provide for them, just because they just simply lazy, because they don't have the motivation nor the ambition to do it their doggone selves, and it's a sad reality in our past.
Yeah.
That
I don't.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Marky. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that's the point blank and period of it. They want somebody to help them, not just women. It's men that do it too. We just brought up the Jody example. It's people out there that just can't help themselves, so they put that expectation on a partner to be their support in all aspects: financial, emotional, physical, sexual, and that entitlement turns into abuse when the other person is giving 50 or 100 and you just ain't up to snuff. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't look at it as expectations. I look at it. I want to give it a different word. I look at it more so as that's their goal. Their goal is to get somebody that has all of those things. But reality is they're going to end up with somebody else. That's their ultimate goal. Their ultimate goal, they want to get with a guy that makes $100,000 or a doctor or whatever have you. That's their ultimate goal. That's what they want to get at. So they deal with all of these other individuals to ultimately get to that goal. They go through all of these other different relationships and figure out, okay, what I got to do to make myself a better individual so I can get that type of dude that I'm looking for. It's not an expectation. That's a goal for them. Because expectation is reality. And expectation is, this is what I know that I can deal with. Expectation, I look at expectation is something that you a personality that you want in a person, not what a person is worth. That's a goal. That's not an expectation. That's a goal. So when I look at when I hear people say, "Oh, they have all of these expectations," no, that's not an expectation. Those are goals. Expectation, like I said, you get with an individual. Like I get with my wife. I got with my wife because the expectations that I had for my wife was a person that take care of her family, a person that works hard, a nice personality, a person that has a funny sense of humor. Those are the expectations that I saw in her that I wanted. Those are expectations that I look in females that I want. If I'm talking about how much money you're making, that's a goal. That's not an expectation. That's a goal. Because yeah, anybody can make $100,000 if they continue to work hard and continue going on what they're doing at the job that they at, and they strive to be better at the job that they at. They can make $100,000. So no, I don't look at an expectation. I look at it as a goal.
I even got a better word. They looking for a daggone sponsor.
And this the thing though, like BVO said, first things first. Consequences got decisions. I mean, all decisions have consequences behind them. And so when you sit up here and you have kids with 2 or 3 different fathers, and then, well, why the expectation for those the people that you gave possibly, one of the greatest things in life, a child to, what was their expectations? How you want expectations for the new brother when you didn't have expectations for the old brother? None of them. I mean, listen, this ain't the day. It ain't handouts going on out here, man. We ain't handing nothing out. Everybody want to be compensated accordingly for what they bring to the table, and so you got to make sure you. I always tell, man, my brother, he got I don't know how many girls he got over there, but and not all by, they're not all his, but at the same time, I always tell him, like, bro, if anything, you got to make sure that they understand anything they do, especially sexually, is gonna have more repercussions to it. That's gonna happen. That's how life works. So if you raise them up right, then hopefully they avoid those pitfalls. But it goes into the parents. You got to raise the kids the right way, and that's what we're seeing, a lack of parenting.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. And to piggyback off what Dub said, a lot of times, what a lot of these females and men, what they fail to realize is they have a certain type of person that they're attracted to. They might have these goals or expectations that they want, but if you pay attention to all of the females they deal with in the background in their past, and you see all of the men that she dealt with in her past, they're all pretty much the same type of people. They have a certain type of person that they are attracted to. They might say they want this, they want that, they want this, but they're attracted to a certain standard, a certain type of person. Like I say it to my daughters all the time. She asks me, why this, why that? You're attracted to that type of dude. That's why. Look at the dude that you dealt with in the back. You're attracted to that type. That's why it's like that. I say to my son say, hey, why all these females always giving me these hard problems? Because you're attracted to that. Every female you dealt with gave you the same problem because you're attracted to that. That's what you're attracted to. So you can have whatever expectation, whatever goals you want for the person that you're looking for. You're attracted to a certain standard, and you're going to deal with that standard because that's what you're attracted to.
Or even a certain standard is attracted to you, D-Free. You see what I'm saying? Which is the same thing, because like you said, they say they want this type of person, but then they wind up with the total opposite, and they constantly repeating that. So I think those type of people, they're attracted both ways, and it's weird, but I get what you're saying because I see it happening with people on an everyday basis. You know, your homie and say, man, man, I'm attracted to the church going woman, God fearing woman, this, that, and the other. But every chick that he deal with, boom, boom, Belinda, community, cucaracha. You understand what I'm saying? So, and that comes with sometimes you cannot help what you attract. You can't help it. Even though you may have a liking for a certain thing, but because you like a certain thing, that don't mean you're gonna attract that in return. You might attract something different, and that's what's going on right now. So yeah.
To be honest, on this topic, I think you can. I think the problem is a lot of people don't examine themselves, know who they really are, to be able to know what they actually want and get. I think that's one of the problems. Biblically, the Bible has always told us, I don't know if y'all, a lot of guys over here spiritual or, believe in scripture, but I know one of the scriptures that came out to me years ago was examine yourself to see whether you in the faith. And that examining yourself goes a long way. And I remember, to help y'all understand what I'm saying, there was this guy I went to school with. His name was Adam. Now, he was a heavyset guy. He was fat. And we all cracked jokes. But one thing about Adam that was so slick, and I learned to appreciate, he always made jokes about himself. He talked about his weight. And every time we go to make jokes about his weight, it never had any effect. And most people didn't laugh because he didn't already made the joke on himself.
Mm-hmm.
The dude knew who he was. And it's so powerful when you look in the mirror and know exactly who you are. When you realize that you don't have unrealistic expectations, you know how to move correctly and pick with discernment because you know who you are. I think the problem is we get so caught up with covetousness, looking at other people's possessions. You see a dude with 6 cars, now you want 6 cars, but that ain't even what you need. You just going off what you didn't see. So you get so distracted by looking at other people's lives and say, that's what I want, when that's not even what you need. So I think that's one of the keys. We don't examine ourselves and know what we want. I remember being in school, and yes, I was an average looking guy. Rated myself, examined myself, rated myself. When you look in the mirror, ask yourself, what would you rate yourself? I wasn't no ugly guy, but I was averaged enough to know that the girl wasn't going to pick me first. So I had to use my attributes. What was my attributes? I had to be a little bit romantic. I got to go get her flowers. The dude that she like, he going to throw her to the curb because he got all these chicks. The dudes that's at the top, he going to throw her to the curb. So I got to be like Dennis Rodman. I got to catch this girl in high school off the rim. You get what I'm saying? Because
no doubt.
But see,
got a rebound to get my buckets out here, huh?
Absolutely. But see why it worked for me so good, because I knew my position. I didn't overvaluate myself. I didn't say, well, I am a 10, I am a 9. No. You're about a 6 or 7. You're an average looking guy, right? So you got to play your role. Most average looking guys got to be a little bit more romantic. My brother used to get all the chicks. He was the Hazel pretty boy, but once he got older, he couldn't get the women no more. He gained some weight because they used to throw it at him. Now he has to work for it, and he don't know how to do it. And the tables have reversed. I know how to do it.
1 second, Ohio. I want to ask you this. Did you say he had hazel eyes?
No, he had, like, my brother had contacts. He ain't had no hazel. He had contacts. He used to sleep with
I thought you said some hazel. Okay,
but my point was, the girls used to throw it at my brother. He didn't know how to go pick them up because they was laying there for him through high school, and just they gave it to him. So he didn't know how to work for it. He never had to go get no edible arrangements or get no girl no roses or anything like that. So his position, as he got older, his position changed, and he didn't know how to go to girls and talk to them because they were so used to just liking him because of how he looked. Me, on the other hand, I knew who I was. That's why I was confident. That's why I was like, hey, shit, you could talk to that dude, or we could, but I know I'm a out romance him. Just give me a chance. You get what I'm saying? So my point is, I examine myself as a man, and I think we all as humans, not just women and men, all of us in general. Once you examine yourself and know who you are, you untouchable, because you know exactly. There's some people that's out here dating that probably ain't even supposed to be dating. You wasn't meant to date. You wasn't even meant to have a woman. There are nuns. You got some guys the Bible talk about that are eunuchs that was born not to have sex. AJ, what's his name? Green to play for the Lakers went 45 as a virgin, and we looked at him crazy. That's not us. So you look at him and go, I don't know how he did it. That's not you. Maybe he examined himself and realized who he was. That's the problem. We want to put our expectations and what we want on other people, and then see what other people got and say that's what I want. Cass be like, I want a wife. You ain't even in a situation to want a wife. You ain't even provide. You got a lot going on, but you want a wife. You haven't aligned yourself up to even pursue that and put yourself in that position, but you see your other friends got it, so you want it. That's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to examine yourself.
You saying some powerful things. Salute to my brother Drew, man. Salute to my man Elder Drew Tight. But I'll say this, man.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about growing up on the west side of Cleveland, I can honestly say, and my wife says this all the time, like, you can be the most busted, disgusted dude. You're gonna think you that guy. I don't know what it is about the west side of Cleveland, but that's how cats come across. So I think the main thing that happens is, one thing people don't do is talk to who likes them. One of the best things I ever learned, and I'm gonna tell a funny story. Used to like this girl, right? She was bad, strapped. When I say strapped, that means she has a big butt. That's something that Soulja Boy used to say back then. So just for those who don't know, that's what I mean when I say strapped. So when she was strapped up, ready. She was ready. And I remember chasing her around. I was like my man, Pepe Le Pew, chasing this girl around, doing all this, doing all that. And I remember when it was time to kick it with her, she let me, and she wasn't hype about it. When I learned that there are women who will be hype about you, you ain't got to chase them, brother. That was probably the worst information I ever got, because you got a lot of cats to understand. You waste a lot of time and money chasing women. You got to spend your time making money and deciding what you want to do with your life very early on. So when you're 20 years old, don't give me this, I'm a young guy, I don't know. Because guess what? The stuff you do at 20, you're going to pay for at 30. The stuff you do at 30, you're going to pay for it at 35 and 40 and also and also. So whatever you do, you're going to set yourself up at another age group to not have nothing. Now, I'm 34, getting ready to turn 35. God has been good to me. I got a lot of friends who don't own houses, who don't own cars, who's not married, who got a bunch of baby mamas, whatever the case may be. But it's because when it was time to set your life up at 20, everybody wants to play this crazy game. I got all the time in the world. Really don't have all the time in the world. You really don't have all the time in the world. And you got to make really solid decisions from the gate. And one of the most important decisions you can ever make is who you have children with. People don't understand that. There are some women that have a child by you and will bury you. They'll bury you. So I think it's just all over. You got men now, and that's why a show like $1 Million Worth of Game is so popular. For some of us, that's stuff that we heard from our uncles, niggas at church, niggas at the picnic, niggas at the basketball court, niggas at the plazas, whatever, because black people, we hang out at the plaza. Niggas don't be at the mall. Niggas be at the plaza. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a big thing everywhere, but I know in Ohio, man, niggas be at the plaza because all the malls is gone just about. And I think it's so crazy how guys don't have basic understanding on what's real and what's not. You're not going to come out the gate buying no girl nothing. One thing I learned is if you got to buy a girl something, you don't need her. You don't need her. You can be romantic. Yes, that's perfect. But just make sure the person you romantic with is a good girl. Because
romantic with a balance.
Yeah, what Future said is true. And forgive me, I don't want to offend anybody. My man said it best. I don't got no manners for no sluts. So that's how you got to kind of approach it. So one thing I will say to anybody listening, man. Nah, you talk. I hear that part, Doug. But okay.
Wow.
Hey, you gotta forgive Doug. That brother's from Middle Georgia. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't remember that part. If that was in there, I don't remember that. But I think that's a very, very important line to take with you. You know, a line that I always remember from rap from when I was young. Hey, brothers, you don't want to be my age. You can't read and write and have to beg a woman for a place to sleep at night. I don't know a lot of people know what that's from. That's from Nas. When I heard Nas say that, I'm like, the last thing I'm gonna do is be begging a chick for a crib. You know how many some homeless bums I knew that would stay with girls that looked horrible for a place to sleep? I mean, man, I almost want to drop my cousin's name. I'm not gonna drop his name because I know he'll hear this and go crazy. But my cousin was dating this man. She was a beast.
It's crazy.
And it was because he had got out of jail. You know, everybody want to be Pablo Escobar. He got out of jail. And you know, when you get a felony, guess what, guys? That's forever punishment. A lot of people won't tell you that when you get a felony in America and you black or you brown, that's forever. You can't live certain places. You can't do certain things. You don't believe me? Ask my man Free. He'll tell you. And I think too many times, so many young men don't have basic understanding. And I'm gonna ask you guys this. When you guys see these young guys behaving so erratically or over emotionally, how would you guys say, what's a good thing to combat that, to not be over emotional? What would you guys say?
Not to be over emotional?
Yes.
They might need to hang around some real dudes.
Right.
Because the only way you can get over being overly emotional is by being around some strong men. Because you can be around men and you around a bunch of men that's just like you, all of y'all gonna be over emotional. Y'all gonna be hugging and crying all together. So the only way you can get over that, you got to be around some strong dudes. Because I was brought up. My father brought me up in the neighborhood that I was in. If you was a punk, you couldn't come outside. You couldn't come outside. You couldn't hang around nobody because you was going to get teased. You was going to get joned on. Hey, I don't know what joned on is roasting.
Free, they scared to come outside.
You was too nervous to come outside because you knew what was going to happen. You was an easy target if you was soft like that, because that's what we call individuals. We call a lot of those individuals that was like that. We call them soft. If you was like that, you learned real quick how to stop being like that, because either you were going to get in a lot of fights and you was going to get over it, or you was going to be one of those ones that just stayed in the house and stay up under your mother and your grandmother on a regular basis. So we didn't have a lot of over emotional dudes that hung outside when I was coming up.
Yeah, let me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick. Shout out to my man Scholar, man. I heard he just got back with his white Nubian queen. Salute to you. I'm glad you're happy again. Salute to Scholar, man.
You said white Nubian queen?
Yeah, white Nubian queen.
Hey, look.
The one with the box braids and the sundress.
That's wild.
So the thing is, we all knew those guys who were kind of like that coming up, but at the same time, hey, you tease them here and there, but you ain't go overboard with it. You know, hey, let everybody who they be. But one of the things that I realized is growing up, once again, like Free said, with my uncles, you know what I'm saying, my cousins, stuff like that, bro, they gon' take that. When we in the yard, hey, get the ball. Yeah, y'all go head to head. Yeah, going up. Nah, don't run from them. Don't be scared of that. Not, you know what I'm saying? And they gonna talk to you like that. They gonna talk to you like men talk to you. And instead of coddling and doing all of that, just keep it a buck. And that take a lot of, you get that emotion out of them very early. Brian Norman Sr. said something crazy, well, not crazy, but special in my opinion, when he was speaking on his son. He said more or less to the fact that Junior, and I ain't gonna use the exact terminology he used because this is a family show, but he more or less said, I got the little girl out of him the out of him when he was, and he had some. It was Senior said. I ain't say Senior said it. And he said he said he had something in him, so I got that up out of him real quick. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like how he was being raised when he was with his mom and all these other kind of, or you know, all that, those type of things. So
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times in today's society, it's looked at as toxic masculinity. Well, nah, it's teaching men to be men. Sometimes you got to be. The world ain't gonna be easy on you. So what I'm gonna be easy on you for? Matter of fact, I need to prepare you and get you ready for the world. If you go out there emotional, that's why we have so many. And BVL, you talk about it on a regular basis. I appreciate you for doing it. But the violence that go on in the community, because we got a lot of over emotional kids that have came up under their mothers. I say it respectfully, and they don't know how to control themselves. So the next thing that they do is they're looking for a male role model. They end up in the streets. Then the streets where they used to be back in the day when I was coming up, the older the quote unquote street guys, they knew I wasn't no street guy. They knew my grandmother. They knew my great grandmother. You know what I'm saying? First thing they told me, man, you don't supposed to be here. Go on to the basketball court, bro. We'll be up there in a second to bet on you. Go on to the court. You know what I'm saying? But they understood this ain't your lane. This ain't where you need to be, and we don't want it for you. And so now you have. Real quick, now what you have is the quote unquote old heads these days, they take advantage of the youth and say, hey, I need you to run this for me, I need you to do this for me, or whatever. And so having that lack of male leadership, it leads to a lot of these things. And hey, I mean that's why I keep every time we have these type of shows, what I tell you, fathers are important. Fathers are very necessary.
For sure.
Yes, indeed, my friend.
You know the funny thing. Let me say this real quick, and I'm gonna let you go up that. I think the funniest thing is this, man. When we talk about real things that matter, it's funny how nobody seems to rush to talk about that. But if we were talking about some nonsense, cats love it. And one thing my grandmother used to say that, and you know it's funny, I never thought I'd be one of them niggas always talking about what my grandmother and grandfather say. But I swear to God.
You ain't got no choice. You ain't got no choice.
Every time I say you know what's funny? Everything my grandfather, and I used to, oh man, I heard my granddaddy say something. I just want to punch him in the belly. Because he'd be on his chair and he got so much to say. You know what he told me one time? He said, I had my run, now it's your turn. And that was his advice for me for life, right? But the thing I will say I did learn from my granddaddy is that one thing that you got to do in life, man, is you got to understand where you are. Like my man Marcus said, you got to understand who you are, and you got to really make real plans to be successful. I think the saddest thing in the world is we got so many young guys getting raised by their mother, and let's be honest, a lot of these women are so over sexual. It's crazy. I see women kissing their sons in the mouth. I see women treating their son like it's some type of boyfriend / son thing. It's weird. Or you have a guy who's growing up with his mom and mom fine. You know, you want to go hang out. You want to go hang out at his house. You can look at his mom. Now I don't know if you guys ever did that, but BVO did that when I was a kid. Oh, you got a fine mom. Let's go over here and hang out with your mom and be in her face all day. You know, so it'd be cats like that, and those dudes end up taking so much of what their mom did that they end up going to the wrong side of things and misunderstanding how things go. And I'm telling you, in our communities, what we're seeing is overly emotional men and women. Nothing should make you so mad that you about to strangle somebody over a couple dollars. You ever see the videos where the girls be like, she gonna cut the girl's hair out who didn't pay her, or she gonna drag her around a salon because the girl didn't pay her, or some dude, you know, get his hair cut messed up, he about to take the whole barbershop out. It's crazy. Go ahead, Mark. My bad. Go ahead.
This is a great conversation, and I'm actually going to share this story because it's a boxing story, and I'm gonna drop his name because it ain't like I'm hating or anything. It's just a story. I'm gonna tell him it's my side of the story anyway. Me and him had we had a fallout, and it's Montana Love out of Cleveland, and it's crazy. You just described Montana, you know, growing up single mother home and stuff like that, and it's a lot of pro boxers who get over emotional and different things like that. But he was the first one that I had. I didn't have many stories, but I'm not talking about him, but I'm just being honest. He was the first one I had a real fallout with in Ohio. I don't have fallout with the fighters, man. They love me. I got nothing but support. Montana was another one. I followed them in the amateurs, nothing but love. And I think he flipped because, and it's crazy. I made a post about quitting. It's in the Hitchens. Hitchens signed with Matchroom, and him and Montana was going at each other on Twitter months before that, and even probably a year and a half before that, they had back and forth all the time. And when I found out Hitchens signed with Matchroom, I made a post like I do all the time, and I said I would love for this fight to take place now. I said Montana and Hitchens, now it's y'all on the same side of the street. I think that fight makes sense. I get an inbox from Montana, and he said, why are you hating? And he said, why you boosting this nigga all like that? That I mean, he wrote a book, bro, in my DM, and I'm like, what? He said, I don't like fake.
Said he wrote a book,
bro. I still got the screenshot. I screenshot it, but he's like,
this is a sick Negro.
He talking about dudes get shot, and I'm like, what? Wait a minute, Montana, what you talking about? Like, bro, it's a post about somebody signing with Matchroom, and you talking about people getting shot. I'm fake. This, I mean, he really lashed out on me, and I'm gonna be honest. I knew where it was coming from. He just didn't want to fight Hitchens, and he thought that he was better than Hitchens, whatever. But he was using me as a deflection that I'm just hating, da. But here's the thing, because I'm always right at the end when it comes to these type of things anyway, because it didn't make no sense anyway why he's coming at me. But I told him in the inbox, I said, bruh, Eddie Hearn signed Hitchens, and he's going to sign him to fight you. I don't know what you're talking about, and I think the fight is a great fight between you and him. So what are you talking about? Nah, da. He going off in the inbox. I said, it got so bad that I said, Montana, here's my number, bro. Just call me. Like, what are you know what I'm saying? Here's my, he didn't even want to call me. Now, he in the chats, I mean, in the comment section, Ohio run boxing, this and this. I'm like, he going in, bro. And I'm like, all this time I've been supporting him. He used to have me on his Instagram. Let's talk boxing. Now all of a sudden you done turned on me all because of that. Like, bruh, stop. But the funny thing about that whole thing, Hitchens' first fight was co-main in Cleveland. Like I told him that was gonna happen. Eddie put him under Montana's co-main in Cleveland because he was going to make Montana fight Hitchens. And the funny thing about that is when Montana still lost to Sparker, he still matched him up. He still was trying to get y'all to fight. And guess what? You pulled an injury, and all of a sudden the fight didn't go, and Hitchens had to go somewhere else. And then Montana started talking about, he ain't really want to fight me. Nah, Montana, you never really wanted to fight him. You fell out on me because of that. But the point I'm bringing up this story is because, I'm sorry, y'all, real men don't move like that. They don't move like that. They don't go and get over emotional and go and threatening lives, because I'm gonna call it like it is. When Montana had other boxers from Ohio that was calling his car, and I was playing the peacemaker that wanted to fight him, he didn't have that energy. He picked and choose.
Oh my God!
He picked and choose.
He said he read that man a book.
You know what's so funny about all this? That's Montana. He's a Powerpuff girl. He's been like that.
Yeah,
he's a Powerpuff girl. He just, and you know what's so crazy? It's like these strong snitches. Now you got these strong men/women guys out here who will jump on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say it, because the last thing I want to ever do is take somebody black's life. That's the last thing I want to do.
Right.
But it's amazing how people always escalated so high with another black man.
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'll alive you. You know, I'll use my BB gun to hit your mama's house. Like, I'll never forget this dude. This is the craziest thing in the world. Now, this is me growing up in the projects. These two dudes had an issue over a couple $100, right? Dude told the other dude, because we heard it on this show, I think it was called MC Gusto. What was MC Gusto called? Sorry, I was really young when I came out. What was that show? MC Gusto.
CB4.
CB4. That's what it was.
Straight out
See,
of
me and my
Wild
bros
Memphis.
was
boy. He
calling
was a
MC
wild boy.
Gusto. So anyway, MC Gusto told the dude, it's time to buy your mama that black dress, right? And he told the other dude that it's time to buy your mama that black dress, not knowing what it mean. He just thought it sounded tight. Said it to dude. Dude came back with a weapon, tried to unalive him. That's how fast it happens. You have dudes saying stuff they don't even understand. I remember I made a mistake when I was at summer camp. I told a dude, I heard it on Baby Boy, I got heat for niggas like you. I didn't know what that meant. I thought maybe he was talking about fighting. And I remember I told dude that I'll hop off the summer camp van and he got the hammer. And I'm like, what you about to do? And I told her so before. He said, you want it? I said, nope, I don't want it. Let me go home. You let me go home. You know what I mean? And you know, some guys be ashamed to talk about parts where they had to say, hey, that's a part of being a man. As a man, sometimes you got to say, hey, I don't want it. I don't want no smoke. Now, if I would have been Gorilla Man and said, hey, do what you got to do, I wouldn't be here talking to you now. And that's what I mean when I say having a father is so important, because so many of these young guys, they behave like strong women. So not just that girl who will bake a cake with your clothes or bleach your clothes. Now you got a dude who can flip over a car.
Yeah.
Who's gonna do something. Or you get these soft dudes who quick to put their hands on a woman. Like you guys ever dealt with a dude that's like soft? He won't fight no man, but a woman, she getting wrecked. I don't know if you ever been around people like that.
Hey, we just seen that not too long ago, right here on YouTube. So I mean, it happens all the time.
Come on.
We just seen that not too long ago on YouTube. It happens all the time. I know a lot of dudes. Hey, dog, hey, Dub, your cousin is in the chat. He got me down, Dub, Sprite side. But
that's crazy.
But we see that all the time.
Hold on, who spend that much time to go troll like these guys do? This is crazy. They follow you trolling.
He might just rock with you, Heavy Dub.
I ain't never seen it.
He might be your guy.
Hey, you made it. You made it.
He made it.
Dub Sprite side? Whoa.
I got Cub right side, then I got Dub Sprite side. I mean, I got two of them, and they probably the same person.
We got a real fan out of them. Then,
Look at that.
Hey, but no, we see that all the time, and you see it too. You see it's usually the loudest person in the nightclub. It's usually the loudest person at the bar, the loudest person in school. They always try to scare somebody out of a fight, but they quick to jump on a female. But when it comes to a dude, they got to be super loud so everybody can hear. So somebody is close by to break up the fight. We see it all the time. I mean, me personally, like I said, I don't. None of that stuff moves me. None of that stuff moves me. You can say whatever you want to say and have all the animation behind you and all that. It doesn't matter to me at all. When the hand starts flying, then we could talk. Then we could talk when the hands start flying, because my fist is gonna be the one that's doing the talking. It ain't gonna be no words come out my mouth. But I never respected an individual that put their hands on a female. Like I talked about how I end up leaving my first wife because I was woken up by a 2x4. Now I didn't put my hands on her. I didn't put my hands on her, but my kids was sitting right there.
A 2x4 across the forehead.
You know the little rail that you have on those bunk beds, that little rail that goes on the bunk bed. She took
the
that
bed
off.
slack.
Yeah, she took that off and hit me across my back. Me being who I am, I was about to, but I saw my 3 kids sitting right there. And I was like, you know what?
That's a
Enough is
no-go.
enough. I just got up, I grabbed the clothes that I had close beside me. I reached in my drawer, grabbed some clothes, and I walked out the door and never came back. The next time she saw me, I was picking up the rest of my stuff and leaving. I came back with a couple of friends. We picked up the rest of my stuff, and I was out the door. I never came back. But
I know that's
mean,
right. I can't rock with no girl that put their hands on me because I'd have been did something to one of them.
I
So
mean,
I just go
because
the other way.
if I didn't see my kids there, I don't know what I would have did, because I know how I am. I know how I am. I'm the type of individual. I don't do no talking. You put your hands on me. It's time for me to react the way I normally react. But
shout out to the great brother Eric Mays.
When I laid down, I was laid on my side. When I woke up, I turned over, and my kids were sitting right there when I turned over. If I'd have turned over and saw her first, I probably would have jumped on her.
Hey, listen. Shout out to the great brother Eric Mays, man. Like he said,
with a wood is crazy.
Like he said, I don't know what's going on behind me, but that's how I caught my first felony right there. Because I mess around and have to get up and self-defense myself, and things gonna be happening. Listen, you don't put your hands on nobody if you don't want nobody to put their hands on you.
Period.
That's my personal opinion. But at the same time, I do think that Free did the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put your hand on no female at any time in your life. Some of these females, they want to act brolic out here though. They want to act that way. Sometimes, hey, I'm gonna defend myself. You ain't gonna stab me. Just saying.
Right.
No, and you know what? I agree 100%, man. It's touchy. It's a touchy topic, but I don't listen. It's like I can't say I don't condone in hitting a woman. I've never hit a woman. I attempted one time, and it was my ex-girlfriend, man. She used to put her hands on me all the time. Now she only weighed 120 pounds, right? So every time we used to get in arguments, I started to know. This started later on and I said about a year later, she started to get real comfortable. And every time we started to get an argument, she started slapping me and punching me, and like it don't hurt, but she just got so used to it. So one day on Christmas Eve, I got fed up. And she did it on Christmas Eve, man. She hit me in the back of my head while I was eating, like, you know, and the argument wasn't even worth physical. It never is. Man, I picked her up and I act like I was going to slam her on her head. She never, ever put her hands on me again. That was the last time. She thought I was going to break her neck. But I did act like I was going to slam her on her stuff. And I said, you know what I'll do to you? And I was talking crazy to her. I never did. That was it. But she never put her hands on me after that again. And it shouldn't take that. You know what I mean? So, no, I ain't calling the police. And I didn't do none of that. Yeah, I was getting abused. When you look at it that way, yeah, it was abuse. But no, she never really hurt me. Might have busted my lip every little bit. But I was never hurt by her punches. She was only 120, bro. But
it ain't about being hurt. It shouldn't go that far.
It shouldn't happen. You know what's funny? And be aware of them old dudes that give you bad advice. And I'm gonna put my uncle on front sheet. My uncle P said, if a woman put her hands on you, you spit in her face. Spit in her face. And I tell you this.
Wow.
Don't spit on no black or Spanish women, man. Don't spit on them. So what? A woman slapped me. And first thing I did like my uncle said, I threw my head back, spit in her face. Next thing you know, I get hit with a vase. And when I got up,
you lucky it was a vase. You lucky you got hit with a vase and you wasn't getting woke up by some hot grits.
I got hit with a vase, bro. That stuff, you know, you see stuff on movies, bro. When that vase break on your head, you go right to bed. You go right to bed. But the point,
when that vase break on your head, you go right to bed.
I mean, you just go right to bed. I mean,
it's over. It's over. There ain't nothing you can do.
And you know the thing I remember right side when I got up, I was like, Uncle P, that nigga don't know nothing. And I tried it again, right?
Hold on, what you thought? You thought when you spit, it was just automatic. She was gonna go on pause mode. She wasn't gonna move or nothing.
That's what he said. He said they'll cool out. They'll cool out.
Listen, BVO.
Hey, go ahead.
The first thing, look, now, like I always say, I try my best to keep my hands to myself. At the same time, one thing I do know, I can restrain you from putting your hands on me, and I'll be honest with you, I'll shake the shit out you. Shake the shit out you.
Hey, like that old Kanye song, I'll shake the shit out of you. Hey, but you know the funny thing I learned too about that whole situation is that my Uncle P was giving his best advice, even though it was horrible advice, because I did it again. I'll never forget, I got kicked in my chest. and I was just like, yo, I didn't go down or nothing, but I just thought, like, what would make you kick me in the chest for spitting on you? But I had to realize that's the most disrespectful thing you can never do is spit on somebody. And I didn't know that.
Your uncle sound like that dude. Your uncle sound like that dude on that Instagram video when they did that little prank when he acted like he smacked his girl, and he said, "Boy, I'm so proud of you, but you're going to jail. You're going to jail. I am proud of you, but you're going to jail today." It's just so funny because a lot of us, we have moms, right? And even if our mom, and let's be honest, some of us have moms who were young and they was bopping. I mean, it is what it is. We some of us, you know, had moms who talked to other guys, you know what I mean? And the thing I learned big time is this. A lot of us were not prepared to deal with some of the antics that we deal with some women. Because some women, they'll bring the devil out you, bro. They really will. I'll never forget, my cousin was so mad at this girl. This dude started headbutting the door. I said, whoa, you headbutting the door? Bro, and this ain't no movie. This fool was headbutting the door. And if you've seen it, say it again.
Split his own stuff wide open.
Bro, he was so mad. He was headbutting her wood door. And she was in there laughing. I'm in the car. I said, I know this Negro didn't bring me across town to watch him headbutt no door. And that's exactly what he was doing, bro. Like a bear. Go ahead.
You gotta remember, like your woman, she knows all of your intimate secrets.
She knows them buttons.
You share a lot of feelings with that woman, so they know how to push that button. And because
they do.
You feel a certain way towards that woman, you're not gonna do what you would do to a dude on the street because you love that woman. So that's why you do some of the craziest stuff that you would never do with nobody else. You would never do. I'm almost certain he wouldn't have headbutted no door with no dude. He would have been sitting there swinging.
No, free. If you would, and this is the thing, I'm not exaggerating. This fool was like a ram. He said, "Come out." He said her name, "Come out." She said, "No, I'm not coming out." He said, "Which? I'm taking this door down." And he didn't get no. I thought maybe he's gonna come back to the car, get the tire iron, and tear through the door. No, this fool went head first.
Did he look like Santa Claus on Friday after next when he jumped through the window and he fell up?
Man, he looked like you know, dummy number one, headbutting the door. And the part that was so crazy, people coming outside, they like, you know, they saying that I ain't gonna say his name because I know he'd be pissed I told this story. I love you, bro, but you did this. He's married and happy now. But anyway, there's people coming outside talking about, what's that noise? What's that noise? It's like a dog going around.
Hey man, listen, I'm gonna just be honest.
He got in the car, Dub. He was split open. Yeah. And this back when they wore them fitted caps.
Yeah. Look, leaking. Look, blood running across his face and everything.
Hey, old school. You know them dudes older than us. You know them dudes older than us, Dub, always have like a towel in their car, right?
Yeah.
So you know how them old dudes a little older than us, like them dudes that's in their 40s but have like a towel in their car. That's just some old 90s nigga stuff.
Yeah.
This nigga put the towel on his head, put his cap on, and then we drove.
Hold on. You talking about the front door? I thought you were talking about like the door in the bedroom or something. But you talking about
the front door. Look, The man needed all the 64 stitches, bro. He needed all the 64 stitches.
He got a nice little cut on his head, man. And the part that made me laugh, when we went back to see my aunt, first thing out of his mouth, she's like, "What happened?" He said, "I tripped." And I thought to myself, me being a little kid, I spilled the beans immediately. I said, "No, something was out there headbutting that door."
No, he finna get
and my auntie said,
no, he finna get
and my auntie said again, he was doing that again, and I couldn't believe he had did that before. Hey, the things I done seen, and it's funny because people like, "Oh man, BVO tell a story whether he look good or he don't." Because guess what, man? I actually have lived life, so it don't matter. And I'm still living life. There's gonna be some times I'm not gonna look good. There's gonna be some times I will look good. It is what it is, and that's what happens in real life. So many dudes do these cartoon lives where everything goes perfect. It don't. BVO have been chased to the bus before. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say this is the part of life where you get beat up, but you live through it, and then you laugh and talk about it later. Hey, remember when that happened? And the dudes jumping, you laugh and talk about it later. But nowadays, people don't live through that no more because they ain't fighting. They ain't fighting no more. So when we was growing up, you can laugh about the times where you ran through the neighborhood because it was like 10 dudes chasing you, and your brother went that way, you went that way. I remember times where I was walking home with my cousin, and when I say the entire neighborhood chased us home. No, we was walking through this small apartment complex called Spanish Village, and we went to the ice cream truck, got a soda. Instead of my cousin drinking his soda like a normal person, he wants to shake it up and throw it in the crowd of a bunch of Mexicans. Well, those Mexicans just happen to be part of a gang, and they chased us home. I'm walking, all of a sudden I see my cousin come flying past me. I'm like, "What are you running for?" I look back. It's about 50 dudes chasing us. I'm like, "Oh, He's like, which way we go?" I said, "You go that way. I'm gonna go this way. You're not going the same way. They chasing you. They ain't chasing me." So I can laugh about it now because we lived through it. But nowadays, you don't live through stuff like that. You 9 times out of 10, you probably don't remember it because you still sitting in a coma or you 6 feet deep.
And speaking of that, one of my favorite times with my dad was we was walking down. My dad, at least my dad loves to walk. He got a car, but this dude think it's 1970. He like to walk everywhere. So we walk into the store. And my dad dropped a sucker out of his mouth. And he said, "Man, I wanted that sucker bad." He said, "I went with my boy. I would have put that back in my mouth." And we go to the Chinese store, right? So my dad always finds something wrong with the Asian. It's like it's a bunch of Asian people like in Cleveland, like an Asian area, almost like a Chinatown. And he said something to one of them Asian dudes, right? So my dad being my dad, he slapped one. And one of my most fun times was running through the flats of Cleveland with my dad from them Asian dudes. And I remember they caught my dad under the bridge, and oh man, they gave him a lot of kicks, bro. And I went to ask my dad how he was. He said, "MF, what you think of? How you think I feel? Why you watching?" But the part that was so crazy, I couldn't believe that my dad thought a 10-year-old was going to help him get, when all them Chinamen was kicking on him like that. I'm telling you, man, you would have thought some of the stuff that we got to do, man, in Cleveland, man, you would have thought it was a video game. Like, running with my dad, it was like we was playing cross country in real life. And them Asian dudes had some stamina, dog. And I just never forget, as soon as they got done kicking him up, they left. They ain't rob him or nothing. They kicked him up, then they left. And that's the part of life, man. You're going to have your ups, your downs, whatever. But I think the main important thing in this whole conversation is this, man. You got to be a man at least. We don't have no room for no punks. We just don't. This is what we trying to do with BVO Sports Talk Network, and I'm speaking for my brothers too. We are trying to have a real man movement. We want to have conversations with real men, heterosexual men,
and have real conversations. Because guess what? People be more scared of the guy who's a homosexual than they do of a heterosexual guy. Now, ain't that crazy? I don't know what you guys think about that, but
that's
it
facts.
blows my mind, man.
No, that's facts, man. You know that.
Like, go ahead.
No, no, no. I don't want to change the subject because we on there. But when you was talking about how my grandmother told me this, my grandmother told me that, I was just like, dang. It just hit me when you said that. It came to my mind like, dang, what? Why Shannon Sharp didn't hear his grandma's advice in his situation? That's kind of crazy because he always.
Oh, he heard it. He heard it. Get what? So Shannon Sharp, and I said respectfully. I say this respectfully to Uncle Shay Shay. He from my neck of the woods, right? I'm from Middle Georgia. He from South Georgia. That ain't but 2 hours. Not even 2 hours away here. Okay, so
about an hour and a half.
Probably a little less than that, about an hour 15. Listen,
yeah,
we had these conversations. We were taught about these things. He knew exactly what was going on. He just chose to do his own thing. That's it. And get what the grown folk gonna tell you. Hey, when you get old enough, then hey, you can do what you want to do as long as you ain't living under my roof. Hey, you can do what you want to do, and you gotta reap the benefits of what you do, and or the consequences of what you do in this situation. So that's all that's going on. Shannon knew everything that was going on. Shannon knew that. He done heard especially living with his aunties and his brother. He done heard his grandma say, "I ain't fattening frogs for snakes." He done heard that. So we not gonna pretend like he didn't know. He knew. He just he wanted to do what he wanted to do, man, which is fine. He grown. Deal with the consequences, respectfully.
Hey, and you know what my grandma used to say all the time: when you do something real foul, you're gonna pay for that. I can't say it like my granny G, but she used to have this way of saying you're gonna pay for that. Oh man, I can see her turn her little face up now. You're gonna pay for that. You think you got away with that? You didn't get away with nothing. Or she'll say, Daniel, you ain't got away with me. Dang, you're gonna pay for that. And I'm telling you, man, we missing that in our community, man. We missing those people who held people accountable. And also, I want to send some love to my brother, man, TD Sports, one of the hardest working brothers in the game. He took this picture, and I'll tell you what, I've never seen Bob Arum look so uncomfortable. Have you guys ever seen Bob Arum look that scared?
Man, you are hilarious.
Have you ever seen Uncle Bob look scared to death?
Hey, the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement is real out here.
Hey, the way my man TD is sitting next to Uncle Bob, it looked like maybe the dude who got the camera got a knife. That's what it looked like. Take the picture right now. But shout out to TD, one of the hardest Puerto Ricans, man. Every time I see him, he got a broom in his hand, man. So shout out to TD Sports, man. Love you, brother. You doing your thing. But hey, let me ask you guys something. You guys got anything before we get out of here, man?
Nah, man. Great show, man. Great topics, bro. We need to talk about stuff like this. I enjoyed it, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh man, hey, I'm trying to have you on more, but you know how y'all Youngstown boys be. Y'all don't like to hang out with the brothers from Cleveland because we run Ohio, but it's all good. It's all good.
There you
but
go.
One thing I gotta say, man, my man Marcus don't get enough credit for what he's doing. He's doing a hell of a job. He really, really pushes Ohio as a state. And I could say everybody talks about how hard he works. And man, I tell you this, man, you don't get enough credit for what you do, man. And I really appreciate you. You've been a good big brother, man. I mean, and usually you can't trust no dude from Youngstown because there's still a whole lot of donut. But I gotta give you a lot of credit, man. I gotta give you a lot of credit, man. I gotta give you a lot of credit.
I appreciate it. It's all love, man.
What you got for me, Crush? Free. What you got for me?
Nothing, man. I'm trying to get these videos together so I can drop these videos for these NFL draft picks. I just want to put a video together for the first round picks of all of the picks that went down in the first round and give a little bit of background by each individual. So I'm trying to drop those videos out. Hopefully I can finish them tonight and get them out tomorrow. But if not, it'll definitely be out on Thursday.
So basically, they're gonna be out tomorrow. I know how you gonna get it done.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm gonna be working tonight, and I'm trying to get them all done tonight because it was 29 picks, so I'm trying to get all 29 picks out. But I got some more other videos that's going down for the NFL because it's about to start ramping up. We're getting closer to the NFL season, so I'm about to start ramping up these videos, and I will be doing a few live streams throughout the season on Sundays. Probably not Monday. I'll probably be doing some on Thursdays and Sundays. I probably won't do anything Monday night because I'll be driving when the games is going on. BVO, you still there?
Oh, my bad. I'm up here talking. I said, and keep in mind, his second team is the Browns like mine. So we're going to be trying to cover as many Browns games as we can. I got a ticket to 2 of them, so I'm going to go to 2 of them for sure. But, yo, let's have some fun, and let's do what we come to do, man. Let's enjoy ourselves, man. My man Dub Rightside comes on, I think, at 11. So check out Dub Rightside. Shout out to my man Crush, the legend of morning, spitting that real game, real bad, man. We got my man CDK. He trying to get some stuff together, but he doing his thing too. So keep an eye out for the Sports Talk Network, and we here, y'all. Peace.